In this video, we're going to cover my top 5 books that have made a massive impact on me and my journey throughout the years of starting an online coaching business and being able to scale businesses to 6 and 7 figures. I'm really excited because, I get to reflect and share the lessons that I learned from these with you. And if you are actually read these books in the order at which I tell you to read them, it's going to make such a big impact on your ability to not only get clear on the direction you're going, the messaging that you have, how to actually grow it, and spend how to spend your money, like how to manage your money. But it's just gonna make you feel good, man. It's when I started, for me, what I've noticed is that whenever I can gain more knowledge, I have this sense of ease of, I get it now. But when I don't know things, I feel kind of all over the place. So that's what I'm gonna suggest with these books. Is it's gonna paint a much clearer path for you as you get started and scale your first coaching company to 6 or even 7 figures. So if you don't already know who I am, my name is Dr. Matt. I help coaches and clinicians create online coaching offers to 6 and 7 figures so that they can have the impact they want to and also the time and financial flexibility and freedom that they want. So if you like this, or if you don't know if you like this yet, but if you do like this, all I ask for you is if you could just drop a subscribe. That allows me to impact more people and more people can see this message. So let's dive into it. So the first book that changed my life forever, you can see I've had this for a while, it's pretty old here, is The 4-Hour Workweek. Okay, this is by Tim Ferriss. This has changed my life forever. I read this when I was a sophomore in college. I was in a coffee shop. I remember it clearly. And I was reading through this and was like, what? It talks so much about setting goals and then also creating a life that you want. He talks about this concept of the new rich or the new wealthy, and that being, instead of waiting to retire at 60, 65 or whatever you decide to retire, what if we're able to live that life now? What if we were able to structure our life that allowed us to travel, to live, to be nomadic, enjoy life now, as opposed to the traditional paradigm of, I got to work really hard in a profession that I don't really like, just so that when I get to a certain point, I can then go travel the world and do the things I want to do. And he helps you break it down in a really tangible way. That's why I'm a huge fan of this. It's like, okay, let's break this down financially. How much money do you actually need to do these things? So I picked this book as the first book that I would recommend you to read too, because it helps you with that big picture vision. And it also gives you some different models. I mean, this book is, I don't know when this was made, probably early 2000s. And the cool part of it is that he's well ahead of his time. No, 2007. Because he's talking about Airbnb, he's talking about Uber, he's talking about VAs, he's talking about, I read this when I was a sophomore in college. It took me probably 5 or 6 years before I started actually implementing it. But when I did, I knew what I was doing because I read it from this book. So book number 1, The 4-Hour Workweek. If you want to work 4 hours a week, cool. But it's not really going to teach you how to work 4 hours a week. What it will teach you though is how to structure and think about the lifestyle that you want to create. So go pick this up if you haven't read this already. I think I read through this thing in a week. I was so excited. So great book. This is book number 1. Book number 2 is Deep Work. This first one, The 4-Hour Workweek, is more personal brand, more personal life related. I mean, there is business stuff in there, but it's around creating a business that supports your life. The second one is Deep Work. I'm gonna put in this one before more of the businessy works, because this is around productivity and efficiency and just getting shit done, honestly. And the reason that I like Deep Work by Cal Newport is that it helps you getting shit off your plate that doesn't matter. And this also really does focus on that, is how can I structure my day and my work week to allow me to dive deeper into the concepts or dive deeper into the projects that I'm working on. Because you could have a great business idea, but if you don't have the time and space to implement and do those things, then it doesn't matter. So this helps a lot with learning how to structure your day, structure your week, and how to think about being productive. Before we talk about business, that's why I really do think it's important to understand the mindset of productivity, efficiency, and stuff like that. So Deep Work, Cal Newport, give this a read. It will change your ability to get things done, and you're gonna get more done in probably a month than you would get in a year once you really learn the principles in that book. So really strong book there. The next one that I'm going to recommend is going to be Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I like this because this helps you when you're starting out in business. You're trying to figure out your messaging, you're trying to figure out your market, you're trying to figure out, how do I articulate the transformation that I provide. Donald Miller does a great job of this. He's got another book that's called Business Made Simple and also Marketing Made Simple. He does a really good job of just clarifying your message, cleaning things up, and getting really clear on that. The reason I'm gonna have two books that are actually really similar is that most entrepreneurs and coaches starting out in the space, they have a hard time with offer creation. And until you have a really solid offer, it's gonna be really hard for you to market and sell because you don't really know what you're marketing or selling. By getting clear on your message, it allows you to have a better offer, to articulate your offer, who's it for, who's the transformation you're providing, or what's the transformation you're providing, and also just cleans up your marketing. So this is a really, really good book. It's a pretty easy and simple read, and it also kind of walks through how you would actually set up a website based off of telling a story. So this is book number 3, and which leads into my next book, which is honestly very similar. But if you compare both of these together, it's going to be a home run for you. You're going to know exactly how to articulate what you do, how to get started with it, etc. The next one is Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. He's the founder of ClickFunnels. And man, this thing is incredible. If you read this, the story brand book, and then you pick this up, you're gonna know exactly your messaging, what's the problem you solve, what's the niche, etc. I reread this thing at least once a year, typically, or I'll listen to it in audiobook because this has got so much gold in it. Russell Brunson has 3 books. I've actually got all 3 of them. We've got Expert Secrets, .com Secrets, which is kind of more on the business model that he runs, and then Traffic Secrets, which is like getting more people to your website. I would highly recommend you just consume all of his books, to be honest. He's a great storyteller, which again, this is all about, it talks about in Expert Secrets is telling stories to connect with your audience as opposed to like, hey, here are all the features of my offer. You get one-on-one coaching, you get X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, how can we tell a story? Allow our ideal customer to see themselves in our past shoes or in a client's shoes, ideally ours, so that we can become that attractive person that they want to follow. We want to be someone who has a brand or has like a movement and people want to follow. Really valuable book. And last but not least, this book helped me so much when I was getting started. And it's Profit First by Michalowicz. I can't say his name. I really like this book because, let's be honest, I went to PT school. I know I was getting into coaching and PT. I didn't know anything about money. I knew nothing about it. It was like, taxes? What do I do with that? I don't know. So Profit First really helped me understand how to organize my finances when I was getting into business, which is can be a big bottleneck for people, is understanding how much do I save for taxes? How do I save for taxes? How much do I pay myself? How much should I be spending on marketing? Right? Things like that, this book goes into a lot of detail on, and it gives you, there's certain parts in here that I have screenshot saved and also just like bookmarked, even like just kind of folded. But based off of your revenue, how much money should you pay yourself? And then as that grows, so as you grow from 250K a year to 500K a year to $1 million, all of those percentages are going to change. And he lays all of it out really well here. And there's a lot of storytelling in this too, but you could probably read the first half of this and start implementing this, and it's going to clean up your business completely. You're not going to have any more to be guessing on how do I save for taxes? What do I do? He lays out a really simple system that involves having a few separate bank accounts, almost like if you ever went on vacations and traveled, like little checkbooks or like envelopes where you put money inside. It's called the bucket system, while some people refer to it as, but it really helps you organize your finances to where you feel like you're in control of the money that's coming into your business. This helped me out because like on day 1, before I really even started getting paid, I had the envelope set up, I had the account set up, so money was flowing to me, they were going into their accounts. And every year to this point, I've never had a problem with taxes. I actually typically oversave. And then at the end of the year, I just pay myself, a couple $1,000 bonus. I'm like, sweet, awesome. That's from all the tools and tactics in that book. Those are the 5 books that made the biggest difference on me getting started, and I can't recommend them enough. We've got the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. He's got a few other ones, but the 4-Hour Workweek was definitely the most helpful for me to get big picture. We've got the Deep Work, which helps me stay focused, productive, which has transformed the way that I work. We've got Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, which helps me articulate my message. We've got the 4th one, which is Expert Secrets, which compounds with the Donald Miller's book. So when you're getting started, you get crystal clear on who it is you serve, what's the transformation you provide, and how you lead them to that. Massive. And last but not least, profit first. How do I organize my finances? If you can read these 5 books, you're gonna be in a really good place. You're gonna be in a really good place. And the next step for all of this will be lead gen and sales. So this will help you get to that point. After that point, if you guys need help with lead gen and sales, I'll have future videos here on the channel, or you can always message me below. I've got my link to book a call. So thank you guys for watching this. If you guys like this, if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Again, it allows me to impact more people and get this message out. So thank you guys for your time. Peace.